Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining Kavar Ministries. This is another series of Voices of Our Fathers. We're so excited to have you all here with us again on another Saturday. Please make sure you share and join and let everyone know that we are sharing this wonderful series and we're on today. Today with us is Cameron Wright. Woo-woo! Cameron in the house. Cameron in the house. So, uh, Cameron is a father. He's a professional chef. He's a husband, and he's a man of God. He's wears a lot of different hats. So I'm going to let him introduce the rest of him, of himself, and then we will start with the questions. Is that fair, Cameron?
That's fair.
All right. So Cameron Wright, to my right.
Hello, hello everyone. I am Cameron Wright. I do wear a lot of hats. I am a father of four, but I also a father of many. Um, Not just my own biological kids, but I also father, coach, um, uplift other young men. I've coached football on high school levels, from freshman to varsity. Also track, in ministry, and just in general. So not just a father of my four boys, but I father a lot of people, in different ways. So I mean that's the gift that I have from God, being able to father other people or give them some kind of stability as a father, and give them advice and feedback about different things. Even my brother, he calls me about whatever. So I give him advice. Sometimes I follow my brother. But that's what you're supposed to do. Give back. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Cameron, we are glad that you're with us today. So I have a question for you, Cameron.
mm,
Being a father, and I know you were, what'd you say?
fire away.
Fire away. Um, so, Cameron, first of all, I know that you were a young father, and if you would like to elaborate on it, that'd be great. And then if you could add to that the difference or what you have learned being going from a young father to being a father in the kingdom. And what is the difference? Is there a difference? I get asked that question a lot.
For me, I can only speak for me. I start. I became a father at 17. So not only was I a father at 17, I was still in high school. I had my son at my junior year. Said I had finished my junior year and my senior year of high school, let alone work, provide, and play sports and keep my grades up. So that was a struggle, but I did it. I had people to help me, push me, motivate me in different ways. I had different mentors, coaches, etc. So it was hard. I don't suggest anyone to have kids in high school. Wait till you're ready. The question was asked. As a young father, I struggled about different things, sacrifice. I didn't get a chance to go to college right away. My son was my first priority, only priority I had for a while. Got married young, really didn't work out. Um, it was just had a different background. My background wasn't the same. So, been raised in the church my whole life, but being raised in the church and being in the church is not the same thing. You could be raised in the church and not have any church in you at all. You might have some sprinkles of church, but really don't practice anything. You just go to go. Me, that wasn't the case. I had church in me from the beginning. So just being having that stability and that foundation helped me as a young father, being able to do things. Lean on my grandfather was a big motivation in my life. My uncles helped me, push me, motivated me in different ways. No, I had struggles a lot. So I struggle with temper, trying to understand, maintain different things, struggle with my jobs, trying to maintain a certain job and provide for my son. I had my other son at 25 or 20, 23 or 24. So then I had another son at 25. So I had my three sons all in my 20s, teens and 20s. So we didn't get a chance to really grow as a young man and trying to figure out who I was as a man, and then trying to figure out what spiritually and still be a father. So it was a struggle. By the time I got in my 30s, kind of like really settled down spiritually. Um, God was moving in my life in different ways, and coaching football, being involved in my kids' life, and just being able to manifest different things. So that helped me. It grounded me. It really grounded me a lot. I don't think if I had my son early in later in life, I would probably be different. It kind of motivated. It kind of grounded me a lot. Made me more just aware of my surroundings, around people and different things. As I grew into the ministry, I just grew into as a father, and just grew in as spiritually. A lot of things I didn't do anymore. There's a lot of things I didn't partake in, and different things. I wasn't really a club person. In my 20s, I was. My 30s, I really wasn't. It's just really something I did. So, but I mean, everybody's different. So,
Can you speak on being a single father and speak to some fathers who may be going through that process, being a young, some may be young single fathers, some may just be a single father, but can you speak on that a little bit and to those men who may be listening,
yeah.
the importance of it in the
So
process?
prior to being a young father, I did take some parenting classes in high school and outside of high school. It really helped me a lot. And being a single father really was hard because I couldn't really um, had to really be uh, strategic about who I'll be around, place my kids around, stuff like that. I was married for a while, then I got separated, so I really didn't date anybody. Um, my youngest son was born. I brought his mom for a minute, and that didn't work. But after that, I really didn't be involved with a lot of women because I just didn't really. It wasn't really my thing. Like bring around my kids a lot. So just being a single father, it was a struggle. But I had to learn to be a father, be nurturing and be nurturing at the same time. So understanding that being a single father, I had custody of my son, so I had to be mama and daddy a lot of times. So trying to figure that out, it was hard, but I had my sisters around, my mom around to help me, kind of motivated me and molded me in different ways. It helped me not be so hard, have hard edges as a man. We could be kind of hard and on the surface, but I'm, soft in the middle, like a jelly donut. You know, if you look at it like that. Just really just had to look at things differently, man. Like approach stuff differently, different than my parents did for me. I really had to like sit down and talk to my kids and not always lose my temper. So disciplines were different in my house, more or less punishments and stuff like that. But just being a single father it was hard. It wasn't easy, but it helped me be a better parent. Really, be more in control of what I'm doing, and be more and aware of my surroundings with my kids and stuff like that.
Very good.
Maybe be picky about who I want to be with too.
Okay, talk about that some.
Because like you can't really everybody's personality ain't the same, everybody's vibe ain't the same, everybody's background ain't the same. So when it was time for me to look for a wife, somebody I know who could be one of my sons and be able to be nurturing and still be a mother, even though they're not their mother. I was just I was picky. It had to be a woman of God who understood me as a man of God. So I couldn't just it couldn't be anybody. It couldn't just be anything I see with a pretty face and a nice smile. So really, that was so in that aspect. So I was kind of picky.
Well, it's important to make sure that we are equally yoked and that somebody can be there in support of each other in that spiritual walk and just in the everyday walk, that you can have that support system and they can be that better part of you or that other part of you. So I think that's really important. And I think it's good that you had enough insight to know that um, it was imperative that you have that right helpmate to be there, not just for the children, but for you too, because I'm quite sure that makes you and allows you to be who you are, and vice versa. So, Noni is a queen, and she's a jewel, and I think you chose well.
My mom chose it for me. Truthfully, to be told, she did it. I didn't. God just he just put a sprinkle on it. But just for you fathers out there, man, y'all be patient. So it's really good to be patient. One thing I want to also say, when when God or when you decide to date or court, more or less court a female, your potential wife, know that you have to bring something to the table, and it's not just sex. Okay, it ain't just money. Those are some things, but that's not everything. Know that your partner is your partner, not just a person. So whatever your weaknesses are, you should be able to complement their strengths, and vice versa. So for me, besides being being able to cook, I know how to cook and clean, wash clothes, stuff like that. So that wasn't an issue. I didn't need her to be my slave, or I needed a hot meal and you had to have a house clean. I didn't really care about that. It was compliment each other. So things that she did good and was great, and things I do good was great. She liked to clean. That's fine. Go ahead. I like to cook. So know your lane. Try to stay in your lane and be able to make your lane the best lane, and not always step on each other's toes. But it's it's work, man. It ain't just fun and games. Sometimes it's good and bad, but I'd rather be married than single.
All right. Okay. Very good. He'd rather be married than single. Tell us, Cameron, who were role models and influences for you as those male figures in your life? Who influenced you, and what life lessons did they teach you?
Uh, a lot of them were my grandfather, Walter Huckabee Sr. He was one of my biggest influence in my life. He really calmed me down as a kid. I was one of those kids who always asked 1,000 questions and want to know why things were where they were and how things worked, and I was curious, and so he was the type of man who would give me the things I asked for. Like I would just ask him questions. He would teach me how to do it with my hands or learn about it, read about it. So anytime I had any questions, I could always go to my granddad. He could just, he'll tell me, "Hey, did you think about this? Did you do this? Did you do that?" And I'm like, "No, sir." He's like, "Well, try that first." He always made me think about something before I did it.
Mhm.
Even when I had times where my temper took over, he always like, "You gotta calm down. You can't always react. You gotta think about it." So made me be more of a thinker, which was is good for me because I think things do before I try to proceed. Like if it doesn't make sense to me, I try to figure out how does it play in my life. If it can't fit, then I don't need it. It ain't meant for me to have right now. So my grandfather was a big influence. My uncle Chris was a big influence. He was like my big brother. He was like that kind of guy that like kicked you in the butt, laughed in your face, did all kind of things that big brothers do. He just showed me how to be a big brother for real. Really showed me how to be, you know, how to defend myself. He taught me how to fight. Taught me how to ride a bike. Anything a big brother do, that my uncle Chris did that for me. I look up to him a lot. He's a big part of my life, and just the man I am. My bishop, Bishop Brock. Spiritually, he was my spiritual father. He really molded me in a lot of different ways, and been the gap where my dad wasn't at. I had a lot of other guys in my life, Bishop Cephas, Bishop Jordan. Those guys really motivated me spiritually, um, and different things that I did. My friend Daryl, we've been best friends since over 20 years. Through thick and thin, anything I ever been through, he's been right there with me. So everything you can think about, somebody been with you over 20 years, that's a long time to deal with somebody else. So been
Absolutely.
there my whole life. most of my life, from the 7th grade to now. Never left my side, no matter what. So, my dad, big influence. I mean, some things we don't get along about, some things we do, but he always give me good advice. He always tell me, "Well, you ain't gotta listen to me, but this is what I think." So,
Mhm.
that's his niche. But he always call me, tell me he proud of me and the man I became and stuff like that. So, those are some of the guys in my life. Uncle Rusty, um, and he, I look up to him a lot of different ways, just entrepreneur wise, real good businessman, smart with money, really frugal about different things. So taught me how to work with my hands and build my own group. Ricky, he just taught me how to be brave, like really be brave, and told me it's okay to cry. Nothing wrong with a man crying. So those are just a few guys. My coaches that I had in my life, Coach Erkins, Coach Jackson, since I've been in Little League football, Coach Williams, they taught me how to be strong and not give up. Um, Coach Estes taught me how to play baseball. There's different guys really push me in different ways, and every time I look back on life and different things I've done, I laugh like, oh, I remember this, or I remember that. I remember somebody said this to me. Just I had a lot of different people in my life to kind of molded me in a different way. So.
Mhm. What if you could say one thing to young men and young women who may be searching for a father or father figure? What would you say to them? And um, what would you say to your younger self? What advice would you give to your younger self?
First advice I get to my younger self is be patient. Listen, listen to the people that are older than you. They're wiser. I wish I would have listened to a lot of different things my grandmother, my mom, and my dad told me when I was younger. I'll probably be in a better situation. Um, Not have sex early in life. It ain't. I mean, it is what it is. When you in the end of the day, it ain't going nowhere. So those are a couple of things I would have told my younger self. Follow your passion. Don't give up. Don't get discouraged. Stuff like that. Couple of things I would say to women. Um, First of all, us men, we do have hearts. We do have feelings. So don't think we don't because we don't show them all the time. We do. We just show them in different ways. We also communicate differently. Just because they're not communicating the way you feel they should communicate, don't mean they don't communicate. We both have to be open minded and listen to each other in the way we talk and listen. Same with men. Women don't always listen to men, or we don't communicate the same way. Women are more emotional, so they communicate with their emotions versus anything else. We are more we are more of a thinkers and strategies, so we think about the process before we do it. So that's how our communication process. But we just have to be able to tap into both. Not be so close minded, women. Men not be so unemotional. So the key is listen and not listen to always react or have something to say.
Yeah.
Women who out there looking for a good man, it's about not what the money look like, what kind of car they drive, or anything. It's just the person. You gotta understand the person. The person gonna come with some baggage. They're gonna come with some hurts. They're gonna come with some ups and downs. So you gotta be able to say, can I weather the storm? Can I be the yin to his yang? Can I be the strength to his weakness? Same vice versa for men. If you meet a woman who have kids, there's gonna be some issues. There's gonna be some baggage. You got to be able to say, can I stick in there? Can I be able to motivate her and push her? And it ain't
Mhm.
always about do what I say. You got to be able to uplift each other, motivate each other. I push my
Absolutely.
wife every day, like, you good at this, do that. Let's try this, let's try that. Vice versa. So we can't just give up. Just be patient, man. Like, things ain't gonna happen overnight.
Hmm.
Things ain't gonna be like perfect at all costs. You got to be able to say, okay, let's try this, let's try that. You got to have a game plan.
This is my closing question. As a father, what would you say to mothers who may not have a whose children may not have their fathers in their house? Um, what would you say to them about the importance of the relationship of a father?
Well, I have two beliefs, or two thoughts on it. Like, you have fathers out there who are great fathers, who are in their kids' life, um, and you have guys out there who ain't. That's just true. And mothers, both vice versa. So, for me, for women out there who not with their father, the kids of their father, whatever, the importance of them to be involved in their kids' life. Don't use the kids as pawns, because at the end of the day, it's gonna hurt you in the end. The kid's gonna ask you, "Well, what happened with my dad? Why my dad ain't around?" You got to come up with some kind of lie instead of just being honest with yourself. Okay, it didn't work. Don't use that as an issue. Try to work through your differences and be co-parents. I mean, that's the best way, because your kids are gonna be part of you and part of them. So whatever you see in your son or daughter, it's gonna be the mirror of what you're looking at, good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be half of whoever you made it with and you. So it's gonna be sometimes you dealing with yourself and you ain't know how to deal with that person because you never dealt with it. Now that person is in your child, so you like, oh, he like his mama. No, that's you. Oh, he like his daddy. No, that's you. So you gotta start dealing with some of the issues you got, and that's gonna help you be able to deal with some issues your kids got, because your kids didn't ask to come here. Y'all made them kids together, so y'all got to deal with each other personalities, each other's, quirks and quinks or whatever it is. It is like my sons are all three are different. They like me in a lot of different ways. They like three of me. So I'm dealing with three of me at different times. I'm like, oh, that's me. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
so I got to see, okay, where was this part of me, and where was I at this part of my life, and what can I do different? How can I stir him in a different way? It's not easy. Sometimes you got to take a breath and be like, okay, I can't deal with you right now. I got to, you know,
Right.
this is how it is. So I just say to women, and and also be picky about who you put around your kids, especially women who got boys. You can't just bring every man in your life,
Mm-hmm.
no, because they look and watch. I
Mm-hmm.
know I'm very protective of my sisters, and my mom, and and they look and watch, like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
who's this guy? Vice versa.
Absolutely.
And if you have daughters, you can't just bring any man around your daughter,
That's right.
because especially if you're not letting them see their father, they're gonna gravitate to what you bring,
Mm-hmm.
and if the father is in their life, that's an open conversation. Hey, I'm dating this person. I'm dating. They should be involved in that too. Like, be on the same page, because that person gonna be around their kids. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just how
Absolutely.
it is. You got to be open minded. You got to look at this. I have kids with a person that I'm not with, but I'm dating somebody that's not my kid's parent. So it's gonna go both ways, and you'll want the same respect, vice versa, for men and for women.
That's true. Well, Cameron, thank you so much for having your voice heard. Cameron Wright is my son. He's my eldest. And I am very proud of him, I must say. This has been such a joy and a pleasure to hear from you, your voice, your experience, your thoughts. Thank you so much. This has been Kava Ministries. This is a kingdom vision as well. Please continue to support Kava Ministries, Voices of Our Fathers, every Saturday, 3 o'clock p.m. Maybe it's 4 o'clock your time, but it's 3 o'clock. It starts at 3 o'clock. Please share, follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Tell everybody about this wonderful vision, Voices of Our Fathers. Thank you again for joining us. Peace and blessings to you all.